Greetings, Autobots, and welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at a figure from the 2007 movie toy line, that being the 2007 Voyager class Starscream. So let's get stuck in with the vehicle mode. Starscream takes the form of an F-22 Raptor, one of my personal favourite jet planes used in the military. As you can see, he's a very bulky design with a very sandy beige colour scheme, but one that I think really suits the character as well as that first movie design. He's got a bit of an undercarriage, as you can see, where the robot arms and legs are sort of stored underneath. And he's got these giant missile pods. Now, how this works is, I'm going to aim them at the wall so you can see, but there's these little wheels and these triggers, and these wheels are going to move these. They'll rotate them. So hopefully this should work. Now, well, I'll show it here. You rotate the barrel, and it fires the missiles. See if we can get one more. Come on. Yeah, there we go. So that's a pretty cool gimmick, though during transformation they tend to pop off. So what I like to do is, you'll see these little pods here. Now this is really cool because they thought of this when they designed the toy, because they thought to themselves, hang on, well, these missiles could easily be lost. So let's do it again. Let's fire them off. Pew. 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 Nice. That's really fun. I miss when Transformers toys did stuff like that. Nowadays it's all clear plastic pieces and combining weapons, but back in my day, yeah, I'm playing that card. That's how you know I mean business. You could have stuff like spring-loaded missiles. Oh, it was amazing. And these these tiny pods, you can use them in robot mode as sights, but I also like to use them as missile storage, which is their prime function. Simply take the missiles and slide them in until they sort of lock into place. It's not the most solid connection, but it will at least keep them solid enough that they won't fall out or spring load activate during the transformation. There we go. Just make sure everything's all nice and situated. But plug these in. There's two. And if you could just fit that in there. I don't know why my hand is just twitching. I have really bad, like, coordination. It just, come on. Maybe I'm just angling it in the wrong way. There we go. So you can have the missiles stored like this on the jet mode. As for the jet itself, it's got a nice heaping of paint here and there. Some nice silver stripe work, as well as a clear orange cockpit just to differentiate from the beige plastic. You've got lovely Decepticon insignias painted in silver here as well. You've got ball jointed tail fins here and here. Now these are notorious for popping off during transformation, but I have a foolproof technique that will make sure these things don't go anywhere. So that's pretty much it for the jet mode. It's not perfect. It's definitely very emblematic of that first movie. We're still using the Cybertron design philosophy. So we're trying to really figure out the best way to make these movie characters come to life. And they would really improve upon this with the Revenge of the Fallen Starscream, which I own. But let's get stuck into Starscream's transformation because I think it's quite fun. The transformations for a lot of the movie 1 figures are simplistic, but definitely quite fun. So you're just going to want to take these arms and just bring them down. This one doesn't really tab in, it's supposed to, but for some reason this one doesn't. You'll want to disconnect this tab from this wee slot right here in the arm and just bring the arms down for the time being. In fact, these missiles, I can just actually keep them in. We'll just keep them for the time being. Take these panels here on the legs, open them up, and untab the leg and extend it. Take this panel and open it, which will allow you to swing the leg all the way down. Close back panel back up. And there you have a leg for the time being. We'll finish the rest of the leg in a bit. Take the same panel here, open it up, extend it, swing that down, and you'll see it's on a slider joint. And then just swing the leg out, rotate it around. Now, like many 2007 figures, Starscream has what's called the automorph gimmick. To trigger it, what you need to do is just unpeg this section of the cockpit. Though from my angle, it's a little bit tricky. You'll also want to take this section here and bring it up. There we are. You want to take this up and just bring it up, and then untab the wings from the sides of the jet or the fuselage. Then you take the wings and spread them out, and that completes the automorph gimmick. Now what you're going to want to do for, I should probably have done the wings first. Okay, I'll do the wings first. Bear with me. Let me just reset back to normal. So what you're going to want to do first is just take these wings and just angle them to get them out of your way. This will give you room to operate. Take this panel down, that's for later, and then just bring this down so you can utilize the ball joint and swing it around so it's oriented like such. We're doing this now because these wings require them to be folded back to the back of the robot. But in doing so, it causes these to pop off because of the nature of the ball joint. Okay, so now we can snap back to normal. There we go, back to where we left off. So the wings here will fold to the back, and you just take this double hinged wing piece and fold it around like so. This way it doesn't collide with the tail fins on the back. Keeps it nice and organized. Take this section of the cockpit and just bring it outwards to expose some more mechanical detail, and angle the clear part of the cockpit so it slides into this part of this crotch piece. Now we can take these panels and angle them like so. Just being careful not to pop them off because they're still a little bit sensitive. Rotate the head around 180, exposing that very insectoid head sculpt. Just take this part here and it will peg into his back like so. Angle the shoulders as you see fit. I like to keep them angled like this just so it gives it a more proportional look. And we'll take the missiles out just for the robot mode. See, normally I keep the missiles themselves in storage just because they'll tend to get lost. But it is nice to have them displayed in vehicle and robot mode. Pew, pew, pew. There we are. These finger pieces fold out, though they're not necessarily fingers. I'd say maybe they're more rotators for the cannons. The legs, you're going to want to rotate forward, bend 2 clicks back at the top hinge, and 2 clicks forward at the bottom hinge to give them that chicken leg look like you had in the movie. So same process. 1, 2, 1, 2, and flip out the foot. And we're done. There you have Starscream in his robot mode. The transformation itself is incredibly fun, and it gives rise to a very nice looking robot. For being a movie 1 figure, it's very clearly the character. There's no real liberties taken, except for these proportional, or these rather out of place hand cannons, though they do look kind of cool. And just like in vehicle mode, you can take his missiles and plug them in. Just be careful not to hit these triggers. Now, if you want, there's a feature that a lot of reviewers don't note. You can actually take these panels here and lift them so you don't end up triggering the missile firing gimmick. So that way, you can spin the arms to your heart's content without fear of the missiles firing and getting lost. There's a pro tip from your old pal Robot. So I'll just plug that in. One, two. That scared the living daylights out of me. I think my heart just jumped out of my chest. And that's why you should remember to keep those panels flipped down so you don't give yourself a miniature heart attack over a toy from 2007. I'm not lying, that actually scared the living daylights out of me. Alright, there we go. There we have Starscream, all armoured up. And it's a really cool robot mode. It's clearly that movie character. You know, there's a lot of liberties being taken with the proportions. I'd say the proportions here are actually pretty on point for this design. The chest is appropriately broad, but not too wide so as to make him look too squat. But the chicken legs and the insectoid head sculpt really helps to sell that monstrous look. So we'll just take a closer look at the face sculpt. Very nice head sculpt, picked out in sort of brown, tan, like a sandy color plastic, with some almost weathering effects on the legs and the tail fins. I especially love the bronze and red detailing. It almost looks like mechanical musculature across the chest piece with the automorph. Very cool detail indeed. And voice crack, he feels very sturdy. For an old toy, he's remarkably sturdy. This is one of my favourite figures from the 2007 movie line for its sheer fun factor alone. Just an overall lovely looking figure. So let's talk posability, because Starscream's posability is actually pretty interesting. You have full rotation at the head, can swivel side to side, cannot move up or down. Arms can go up that far, just about over 90. You have again, missiles. Do you know what I'm just going to do? I'm going to remove the missiles so they don't explode and give me a heart attack. Bear with me. Right, missiles have been removed, so no more heart attacks, Starscream, please. My poor baby heart can only handle so much. The arms can do a full rotation, as there's not really, well, it is kind of a swivel, but not really. The arms can straighten out and they can move up that far. The shoulder itself can bend, though that's more so for transformation. Legs can sort of bend backwards for transformation, but you can sort of cheat it for a backwards butterfly. The knee itself can rotate. You've got multiple clicks of articulation at the leg, though it can only move forward this much before you would probably stress the plastic. And the toe can move down that far and up that far. So Starscream's posability is pretty average, but decent for a 2007 movie figure, though there are more figures that have better posability, and I suppose the nature of this design somewhat hinders it. But overall, a really fun figure, definitely very, how might I put this? It's got that toy factor. You can just have it sitting on a shelf and it's just fun. It's fun to look at, it's fun to pose, it's fun to transform. The panels here can be a little bit finicky, but if you know what to do when transforming them, they shouldn't be a problem. So, with all that being said, let's transform Starscream back into jet mode. Again, this is something that a lot of reviewers don't do that kind of aggravates me. Why do they never show the reverse transformations? Because sometimes the steps can be a little bit different, people want to see it. It's the principle of the thing for me. Let's just move those arms out of the way. For me, it's a mandatory part of every video. I want to give these figures their time in the spotlight so you guys can see them in their best light. Even the figures that would be considered a bit less desirable in my collection. Though I am fortunate to have a collection of figures that I pretty much adore, or at the very least enjoy in some shape or capacity. Straighten that out. Was that? Yeah, I think that's the way it's supposed to be. It's just his legs are at a slight angle, so it kind of looks... Yeah, you're supposed to keep these open. So the same process here. We're going to take these and just bring them up and around, just so they clear these back fins here. Take the chest piece, collapse that in the way. Take the head, rotate it 180. Flip this little panel down, then take these and you'll just want to bring them down and around so you've got room to operate. See, sometimes these panels get in the way, but thankfully it's easy enough to reattach them as they are on ball joints. There we go. So we'll just take these legs, collapse them down the way. Yeah, just make sure we don't bend that the wrong way. And you see, did we rotate that the right way? Oh no, we didn't. Hang on. Bring that down so we can tab this tab into this slot right here. Close up these panels just to give it a more clean look. There we go. Again, let me know in the comments if you would prefer me to commentate the reverse transformation or just make it toy sounds. That way I could please both sides of the audience, because I know there are some people that love the toy sounds, but they want to hear the instructions. So please let me know in the comments below what you would like to say. We'll lay him down on the flat on the floor for the automorph gimmick. Now you'll want to make sure to sort of lift the wings over and push them down to tap them in. And there we have Starscream back in his jet mode. Overall, I strongly recommend this figure. It's got some flaws, namely the lack of articulation, and the design itself can be somewhat off-putting for fans of the original Transformers. But for people like me who grew up with the Michael Bay movies, this design rocks. And the toy itself is definitely no slouch in that regard. If you can find it for cheap second-hand, either at a charity shop, a toy store, or just online during a weekend browse of eBay, I definitely recommend you pick this guy up and add him to your collection. And I think that's about it, so don't forget to like and subscribe, check out the channels and the playlist for more uploads, and with all that being said, this is Orbot ASMR, signing off for the day. Autobots, transform and roll out.